If you are a service provider, you need to cope with a lot of different changes. The changes are in the behavior of your customers, actually who your customers are. It's the journey from voice to video. It's the changes in regulatory climate. It's the changes in economic realities. And it's the changes in what you need to do with the technology going forward. So a couple of years ago, we decided that it was really time to change the focus of our research and development. Our research and development is now totally focused on the journey from voice to video, in what we need to do for our customers, how we need to make sure that the next generation technology is providing them with the capabilities to compete. So we've changed radically, and we have labeled that high leverage network. And today, at the end of 2011, we can say that almost half of everything we sell is HLN. And I'm pretty sure at the end of 2012, we have even a better number to report on. As an idea and as a concept, it is of course just the start, because it's not just the cube itself, it's the whole ecosystem around it that makes live radio such an interesting product. In the phase of 1 year, it has gone from an idea to a product. So we started with that actually at the end of 2010, and at Barcelona in 2012, which is February 2012, so it's 13 months after launch, it was working in Telefónica's network. What is it? It is the idea that you make mobile networks much more flexible, much more green, and much more adaptable to the situations of where the customers are, what their requirements is, and how you can do it. You can build networks much more component driven, so to say. You don't need big boxes. You take the small ones and you can have them wherever you want. So if you look regional at Alcatel-Lucent, 2011 was a very different year than the years before. Because in the years before, you could say the world had a kind of flavor of the market, and actually in 2011 there was flavor of the markets. The markets were different. The US clearly focused on the rollout of 4G, clearly focused on applications as soon as possible in the hands of consumers. Asia in 2011 was a market where in India and in China, the biggest part of those markets, and Japan, were very different developments. It was regulatory in India, it was the rollout of 3G in China, and it was for us the beginning of an IP market in Japan. So very different flavors. Europe, of course, in 2011 was dominated by the macroeconomics in Europe, which means that some of our customers were quite hesitant, not sure whether they wanted to make the investments that they otherwise would have made. And I think 2012 will see those differences between the regions to continue. We were hoping at the end of 2011 to be a normal company. Have we met that? Well, there are three elements to judge that. The first one is, what's our relevance to the marketplace for our customers? Well, I think our markets really appreciate our strategic involvement, our creativity, and our pipeline of innovation. So on that point, I would say pretty good. The second thing is, how about the relationship with the employees? I think we have revitalized a lot of the engagement. We have revitalized their belief in what we bring to the market. More important, it is substantiated in real things, in the real differences, where the organization, I think, is more geared to what is necessary in 2012 than maybe we were before. And then the last point on the financials. On the financials, we've met some of our targets. Our profit doubled between 2010 and 2011. And people would argue that is directionally correct. But of course, on the cash, it wasn't good enough. So if you add everything up, have we delivered a normal company at the end of 2011? Unfortunately, our answer is almost. But almost isn't good enough. And therefore, we expect in 2012 to do better. So what is the most important thing for us as a company? If you want to compete in a market that is changing rapidly, has to deal with a lot of different realities on the ground in different parts of the world, it's innovation and the ability to make innovation as fast as possible into a real product or real service or real software in the market. So speed to market and a robust innovation pipeline are the most ingredient elements for us to compete. We've made great progress, but I think that once you're on the trajectory of progress, you will increase the speed of that going forward. And that's why I'm very optimistic about what we can do in the years to come.